Hey guys, just a quick video on fly fishing. Now, a lot of you guys probably, maybe don't fly fish and maybe have used spinning gear and casting gear, but fly fishing is really something that I think will make you more of a well-rounded angler. Um, you know, I think fishing in general is like a process of discovery. I think um, um, one of the things about fly fishing, it's all about presentation. And I spoke about presentation in my previous video and how important I think presentation is in fishing. And this just carries over to all species of fish. What you learn in fly fishing or from fly fishing will carry over to other species, because you'll learn a lot more about fish and about things like etymology and what fish feed on and how selective they could be, especially when it comes to trout. Trout are really wary creatures and they're really selective. Um, and you have to really adjust your presentation sometimes to really get on the bite. All right? So let me just discuss a few things that I think will be helpful if you're considering getting into this sport. Um, as far as gear, I'd recommend getting a 6-weight fly rod to start out with, at either a 9-foot or a 9.5-foot 6-weight fly rod. And then you want to get, you know, on the low end, I'd recommend a Redington fly rod. And on the high end, if you want to spend more, I'd recommend getting a Sage fly rod. But, it doesn't have to be expensive. Fly fishing doesn't have to be, expensive. Just think of it as an investment for a lifetime. Um, so, just look into that. And as far as reels, I just stick with something like a Ross fly reel. They're kind of a middle of the road fly reel. You don't need an expensive one. When it comes to fly fishing, I think it's more important to have a good rod than a good reel. The reel for fly fishing just holds the line, so you don't have to really have a really good reel for fly fishing. All right. As far as learning how to cast, I recommend watching YouTube. They have Mel Krieger has a video out called "The Essence of Fly Casting," and you can watch it for free. And it's a great video if you think you might be interested in fly fishing. All right. And then as far as fly lines, I'd recommend starting with a floating fly line. Fly lines could last a lifetime if you take care of them. So think of it as an investment. Real Gold makes a nice fly line. On the lower end, Scientific Anglers in Cortland, they've been around for years, and they make some of the middle of the road fly lines, but they're good, and I still use them to this day. All right. And then you'll need some tapered leaders, and I'd recommend getting those from Cabela's. Cabela's has a 7.5-foot 3X tapered leader. That's a good one to start out with. It's equivalent to about 6-pound test. All right. And then you want to get some fluorocarbon tippet to add to the end of that leader. Just get some, some 4X, 3X, down to 5X tippets. So you need several spools of that once you get into it, right, for trout. And then there's other species, right? You could go, eventually, you get into saltwater fly fishing, and it just opens up this huge world, right? You can fly fish for anything. It's just another technique for catching fish. And it's all about presentation and stealth, and really having a natural presentation. So, there's tons of flies. I'm headed up to the Sierras, and, I tied my own flies and went down the whole fly fishing rabbit hole. But it's a wonderful world of possibilities, and you'll definitely learn something new if you get into it. All right, so anyways, hope that helps, and we'll talk to you later.